Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello and welcome friends. This is 16th lecture in this course Political Parties and Party System in India, and today we are going to discuss two prominent regional parties in India with having more or less common ideology or political program in terms of protecting the regional identity. And these two political parties are Assam Gan Parishad in Assam and Telangana Rashtra Samiti in the state of Telangana. So, in this lecture today we are going to discuss the formation of both these parties and the political ideology of regionalism and sub-nationalism that is the guiding force behind the formation of these parties and also of their many policies and programs. We will also discuss its ideology, leadership and contribution in Indian politics and many challenges or criticism that both these parties face in the contemporary politics and what are the future prospects for both these parties. So, the AGP and TRS is prominent regional parties which tries to focus more on the regional issues or the identity of a particular linguistic groups and communities and tries to mobilize the public opinion or its support base for the protection and promotion of these regional identity. So, in the case of Assam Gan Parishad for instance, for a very long time it was part of the long agitation for protecting the Assamese language, culture and identity from what it perceived as a threat posed by the illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. Similarly, Telangana Rashtra Samiti was leading the movement for the formation of separate state of Telangana precisely because it argued that the language or identity of Dravidian people in the Telangana region of Andhra Pradesh cannot be adequately represented or promoted within the existing state of Andhra Pradesh, and besides there were many regional socio-economic issues which the leaders of Telangana Rashtra Samiti thought that the creation of Telangana state is the first and necessary step for addressing many of these issues of regional identity and socio-economic development. So, in that sense both these parties are regional parties guided by this ideology of regionalism or sub-nationalism, and they differ from many other prominent regional parties such as we have discussed Shiromani Akali Dal or Shiv Sena and also NCP and All India Trinamool Congress, both of them recognized as a national parties, but having their concentration or influence limited in the state of Maharashtra and West Bengal as such. So, these two parties are also then not based primarily on the religion, or many parties such as BSP or SP or RJD which seeks their support on the basis of caste and other social demographic criteria. Assam Gan Parishad and Telangana Rashtra Samiti present in Indian politics a politics which revolves around regionalism and subnationalism. So, in this lecture today we are going to discuss first the formation, ideology, leadership and challenges of Assam Gan Parishad, and then we will discuss Telangana Rashtra Samiti. Assam Gan Parishad or AGP is a recognized state party in Assam, which was formed in 1985 after signing the Assam Accord with the Rajiv Gandhi government at the center, and its formation was a result of the many years of Assam agitation, which was led by ASU, All Assam Student Union, against the illegal immigrants of the Bangladeshi. So, the formation of Assam Gan Parishad was the result of this long years of agitation led by ASU against the illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, and this party came into being after the signing of Assam Accord with the Rajiv Gandhi government. The objective of this party was to put pressure on the central government to fulfill its regional specific demands, such as protecting language, culture and identity of Assamese people. So, the sole criteria for the formation of this party and AGP joining the politics in Assam was to put pressure on the central government to fulfill the region specific demands, and also to protect the language, culture and identity of the Assamese people. So, it acknowledges that the regional parties and not the national parties, be it Congress or the BJP, in their opinion, or they put forward this argument that the regional parties alone can safeguard the distinct interest and identity of the northeastern region. So, Assam Gan Parishad believes that the regional parties alone can represent the distinct interest of the northeast parties and fight for the protection of those interests, which cannot be adequately or sufficiently represented by the national parties. Precisely because these region faces various challenges due to large scale illegal infiltration of Bangladeshi migrants. However, the party has not been successful in dealing with this problem, and as we see in the contemporary politics with the NRC and the Citizenship Amendment Bill, there is the possibility of violence or protest and agitation in the state of Assam, where there are opinion which is divided along the different party lines on the issue of NRC or Citizenship Amendment Bill. So, AGP was in the power for 2 terms and was not able to solve this problem of illegal immigrants, and later it faced many challenges including corruption, factionalism and splits within the party. And there are many other reasons for its subsequent decline. So, the very formation of AGP and its subsequent formation of government in the Assam was on the basis of the popular agitation led by ASU, and gradually its popularity and also its prominent position in the politics of Assam declined because of many reasons. One was the factionalism, growing corruption and also a split within the party, and there are many other reasons such as tribal agitation in Karbi Anglong district, the Bodo movement in Assam for a separate state of Bodoland, the changes in the leadership of ASU which also affect the growth of the AGP, the internal differences within the party and its leader, lack of minority votes, gradual support for the BJP among the Assamese middle class, and the agenda of the BJP to deport illegal immigrants and many of the inconsistent, short-sighted policies of the Assam Gun Parishad also led to the weakening of the party. So, at many points of time, Assam Gun Parishad has aligned with Janata Dal government at the center, also with communist parties in 1996 to oust Congress rule, and it won the assembly election and formed the government in 1996 for the second term. And also with the BJP, it has uneasy relationship in terms of joining the coalition and also moving out of it and rejoining on many issues, particularly the citizenship amendment bill in the contemporary political discourse in Assam. So, all these factors lead to gradual decline of Assam Gun Parishad in the politics of Assam. However, a major shift took place in the assembly election of 96, as I have said, when the AGP aligned with the Communist Party of India and Communist Party of India Marxist. It won the support of Muslim community as well, and also United People's Party of Assam. These political adjustments brought AGP back into power for the second term in 1996. However, the Assamese people gradually started losing their trust in the AGP and its leadership as they failed to fulfill their expectations. So, through aligning with different political parties and seeking support from different communities, AGP managed to come back to the power, but it also led to the gradual decline of the party in terms of its major support base among the Assamese people. So, these development led to a situation where AGP and its leader were not able to handle many of the pertinent issues that confronted the many communities in Assam, such as the rampant corruption, non-payment of salaries to the school teachers and other government employees, growth of militancy and violence in the state, diversion of funds for the maintenance of Indian Army, and no developmental projects were started, and the demand or the expectation from the AGP government or the leadership was largely not met by the leaders and its policy, which gradually led people to believe that AGP cannot effectively represent or fight for their interest, and then they again moved back to the national parties like Congress and the BJP. If you look at the ideology of Assam Gun Parishad, it stands for regionalism, Assamese culture, language and identity that becomes the basis for the very formation of Assam Gun Parishad. And in other words, we can regard the ideology of Assam Gun Parishad as representative of Assamese sub-nationalism. It is regarded as the centre-right party, and its ideology revolves around regionalism and ethnic nationalism. AGP aspired to deal with the problems of regional development in all its aspects, whether it is economic, social, political or cultural. So, the objective of Assam Gun Parishad is to bring about all round development in the state of Assam, and not just focusing on the cultural or the identity issue of the people, but also to bring about socio-economic and political changes. However, it has failed to fulfill many of these promises when it was in the government twice. So, from 1985 to 1990 and again from 1996 to 2001 it was in the power. However, it fails to fulfill many of these promises, and that led to gradual disenchantment with the policies and the politics of the Assam Gun Parishad, and it led to gradual decline of the party base. And there are growing belief among the larger electorates that AGP could not effectively represent their interests and fulfill the regional aspiration and demands. So, the politics in Assam in that sense oscillates between the national parties and also the regional parties. And after the experience of Assam Gun Parishad twice in the Assam, many communities and groups began to realize that it cannot effectively represent or protect their interest and also fulfill their regional aspiration and demands, and therefore there was the consecutive re-election of national parties such as Congress under the leadership of Tarun Gogoi for 3 consecutive terms. So, as a regional party, Assam Gun Parishad strive primarily towards protection of Assamese identity and regional interest, and in recent elections AGP has aligned with the BJP and is part of the state government in Assam. So, in the present BJP led government in Assam, AGP is the coalition partner in that government, and it is working towards deportation of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants, which it regard as the greatest threat to Assamese language and culture. So, if you look at its ideology, it is basically about Assamese subnationalism in terms of protecting their interest, identity and language from the imminent threat that they consider is posed by the illegal immigrants. However, in terms of their policies and programs, they want to bring about all round development in the state of Assam, be it economic, social and political, along with the cultural and the identity of the Assamese people. In terms of its leadership, it emerged as a recognized state party in Assam, and it has seen various ups and downs in its status as the prominent player in the politics of Assam. So, in the decades of 1980s and 90s, it has a very prominent position in the politics of Assam, particularly with the popularity of Assam agitation led by ASU, and it was also a time when there was 2 factions within the ASU, where one wanted to carry out their struggle for regional identity or protection of Assamese identity by fighting election, and other extremist faction form militant groups such as Alpha and demanded the complete secession from India. So, AGP was a moderate faction within the Assamese agitation, which wanted to fight for the protection of Assamese identity and rights within the parliamentary framework by contesting election. And from that position, it was able to form government twice, but now it is largely a sideline party having very limited support base among the electorates, and at present it is the alliance partner of the BJP, and they have contested 2016 election together. So, from a very prominent position to a position where it is now the coalition partner of the BJP, AGP has seen many ups and downs in the politics of Assam from riding a popular wave in 1980s and 90s to its subsequent decline in 2000 and 2010. So, AGP has formed government in Assam for 2 terms under the leadership of Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, and his term was from 1985 and 1990, that was his first term, and in his second term was in 1996 to 2001, when they fought assembly election together with CPI and CPIM. The party came to power with its sole agenda of driving the illegal Bangladeshi immigrants out of the state. However, it also strived towards protecting the land, property and employment opportunities for the Assamese people and to promote indigenous ethnic identity, culture and language. So, the sole criteria for the AGP to join politics was to drive the illegal Bangladeshi immigrants out of Assam, because that posed a threat in their opinion to Assamese culture, language and identity, and also it strives towards the protection of the interest, opportunities or employment for the Assamese people by promoting their indigenous ethnic identity, culture and language. AGP was also part of the National Front government at the center under HD Deve Gowda and later IK Gujral, when they were the Prime Minister of India. Some AGP leaders like Birendra Prasad Baisya and Mohi Ram Saikia were made Minister of Steel and Mines and the Union Minister of State for Human Resources Development at the center. However, the party's leadership had to struggle for power against other parties like Bodoland People's Front, All India United Democratic Front in Assam, and AGP at present has only 14 MLAs in the Assam State Assembly. The leadership of AGP is affected by continuous split and merger. There are many factions within the party. For instance, Bhrigu Kumar Phukan, Dinesh Goswami, Pulakesh Barua formed a separate party, Natun Assam Gan Parishad, which has weakened the support base of the party. Another prominent leader from the party, Atul Bora, joined Trinamool Gan Parishad for some time, and Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, the former Chief Minister of Assam and a very prominent leader in Assam Gan Parishad, formed a new Assam Gan Parishad, progressive, to advance his own political interests. So, besides facing many challenges from other parties such as Bodoland People's Front or All India United Democratic Front, in Assam there are many factionalism and splits within the party, such as Natun Assam Gan Parishad, Trinamool Gan Parishad and New Assam Gan Parishad progressive of Prafulla Kumar Mahanta. And these factionalism and splits within the party, besides the rise of Bodoland People's Front and All India United Democratic Front, seriously weakened the Assam Gan Parishad position in the politics of Assam. In 2008, however, all these splinter groups of Assam Gan Parishad rejoined and merged with the AGP, and this was to provide a more effective and better alternative to the Congress ruled government. In the Assam, many of these splinter groups came together and rejoined their parent party, Assam Gan Parishad. However, party in present situation faces enormous challenges and odds to revive its support base. So, main support base in among the Assam voters have already shifted towards the national parties like the Congress and the BJP, and many of its leaders have joined other political parties, particularly the BJP and also Congress. So, many leaders in the AGP have joined many other political parties, and Assamese middle class is now solidly behind the BJP, and with the presence of Congress, Bodoland People's Front and All India United Democratic Front in Assam, party has very little scope of reviving its earlier position of prominence in the politics of Assam. Now, if we move to understand the politics and the context of the formation of Telangana Rashtra Samiti, it again represents the regional identity and regional concern from the Telangana region in Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana Rashtra Samiti is like AGP, a regional party in the state of Telangana. This party was formed on April 27, 2001 by K. Chandrasekhar Rao, who was earlier in Congress, then in TDP, and for his commitment to the separate statehood of Telangana, he moved out of Congress to join TDP, and from TDP he came out and formed his own party, Telangana Rashtra Samiti, to put forward the demand of separate Telangana more effectively, and gradually he succeeded in convincing the UPA-led, Congress-led UPA 2 government to create the separate state of Telangana, which was materialized in 2014. So, it was founded on this April 27, 2001 for carving out a separate statehood for Telangana. So, the sole purpose of the formation of Telangana Rashtra Samiti by K. Chandrasekhar Rao was to form the separate state of Telangana out of Andhra Pradesh, and that was the sole purpose of its formation. The party also aims to protect the Dravidian culture and language of the people of Telangana, which it considered as unique and distinct from the Telugu speaking people in Andhra Pradesh. So, in terms of language, culture, demands, particularly socio-economic of the Telangana region, its peasants and other sections, they realized that they represent within Andhra Pradesh a distinct identity or culture which needs to be protected, and that protection is possible only when this region will have its own state. So, there has been a long battle for the formation of separate state of Telangana. So, before the formation of Telangana Rashtra Samiti, there was also many groups and parties fighting for the separate state of Telangana. However, it met with very little success until K.C. Rao led the agitation in early 2000, and since the formation, K.C. Rao constantly tries to put pressure on TDP and other parties in Andhra Pradesh, and also on the Congress to form the separate state of Telangana, and in its attempt to put the pressure on different parties, it got support from the many sections of the people in this Telangana region, such as writers, peasants, workers, students, youth, workers, and so on. So, they were opposed to a Telugu domination over the language and culture of the people of Telangana, and it bases its politics in the ideology of regionalism and subnationalism. So, the very driving force for Telangana Rashtra Samiti is on the idea of or the ideology of regionalism and subnationalism in Indian politics. So, within the federal structure, it tries to put forward the demand for the greater autonomy to the region, and it has also inspired many groups and parties fighting for the greater autonomy of the region and also creation of new states. They regarded that creation of separate statehood of Telangana was first and necessary step for the economic, political, cultural and social development of the region. So, there was the growing sense or growing understanding among the people of Telangana about the vast inequality and disparity between the rest of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana region. And to address those growing disparities and inequality in socio-economic terms, in terms of language and culture, they thought that the creation of Telangana is the first and the necessary step for the economic, political, cultural and social development of the region. And they argued that such development was impossible within the existing state of Andhra Pradesh, and therefore, they began to mobilize for the creation of separate state of Telangana. Hence, the single point agenda for the formation of Telangana Rashtra Samiti was creation of separate state of Telangana, and after its formation it is committed to its all round development. So, the single point agenda for the Telangana Rashtra Samiti was the first and foremost creation of a separate state of Telangana out of Andhra Pradesh, and once it is formed it is committed to its all around development, socio-economic, cultural and so on. KC Rao formed a separate party because the previous government, including the Congress, were not taking effective steps for the creation of Telangana. So, the demand for the creation of separate Telangana has been a long demand prior to the formation of Telangana Rashtra Samiti as well. However, Congress and many other parties could not take effective step for the creation of Telangana. It gradually became clearer that a sizable section of people in the region supported the creation of Telangana as a separate state from Andhra Pradesh, and that led to the TRS emerging as a strong political force in the region by 2004. So, after its formation within the 3 years, it mobilized the public opinion in Telangana region, and because of the popular support for the creation of separate state of Telangana, TRS became the most prominent political force in the Telangana region. However, TRS formed an alliance with the Congress party for the creation of separate state of Telangana, particularly in 2004, and Congress leader Y.S. Rajsekhar Reddy participated actively in the election campaigning during 2004 general election and travelled to Telangana regions along with TRS leaders to gain support for the creation of separate statehood of Telangana. So, TRS strategically formed alliance with the Congress to mobilize the national opinion and also the regional opinion in Andhra Pradesh, including in Telangana region, to garner support for the creation of separate state of Telangana. Then Congress also showed interest in the agrarian issue, economic development, plight of rural peasants and demand for the TRC. However, post election, after it came to power after 2004 general election, Congress failed to fulfill TRS demand of the separate statehood for Telangana, and that led KC Rao to withdraw his support from the Congress and launch agitation for the creation of Telangana state. Its ideology, if we examine, TRS stands for the regional identity, and its ideology is based on regionalism and the idea of self-government or the self identity. So, in that it share many ideological commitment of the AGP in terms of protecting the regional interest against the other influence and the domination from the outside. It stands for the linguistic and cultural identity of Dravidian speaking people in Telangana region as not inferior to the rest of this Telugu speaking people in Andhra Pradesh. So, in a way the rise of TRC also signifies in Indian politics the growing disparities within the region. So, sub-regional politics or regional politics in India is the result of in many ways the growing socio-economic inequality within the region or the sub-region, and main support base for the TRS comes from this growing regional disparity in terms of socio-economic condition within the states or within the region. So, it stands for the regional identity and ideology which is rooted in the regionalism and in the idea of self-government and so on. It tries to protect the linguistic and cultural identity of the Telugu speaking people in Telangana region, which in their opinion was for long was dominated by the Telugu speaking people from Andhra Pradesh. It also stands for economic liberalism, and its one of the major objective is to bring economic prosperity to the state of Telangana. It is a state party in support of a strong federalism with more autonomy to region or state. So, as a regional party constantly tries to strive for greater autonomy to the region by making the federal structure of Indian polity stronger. It is also recognized as a party favoring conservatism, and ideologically it is center right party with popular appeal to the masses and peasants. So, the popularity of TRS is based on its support or favoring of conservatism and also the popularist policies that appeal to the masses and the peasant. Its leadership is formed if we talk about the TRC's leadership, the party has in KC Rao the supreme leader which decides the policies, programs, and also the seats or allocation of seats to different leaders. So, KC Rao, K. Chandrasekhar Rao remains the supreme leader in the Telangana Rashtra Samiti, and very formation of Telangana state and its credit goes to his leadership. Earlier he was a member of Telugu Desam party, and prior to that he was also in the Congress, but due to differences with N. Chandrababu Naidu, he quit TDP and later formed an alliance with the Congress in 2004 after forming his own party, that is Telangana Rashtra Samiti. And during 2004 general election, its alliance with Congress was to fulfill the goal of separate statehood for Telangana. However, when he realized that Congress is not committed or has failed to fulfill the separate statehood demand, he broke the alliance from the Congress and launched the direct agitation for putting pressure on the government by mobilizing the youth, students, workers, peasants, artists from the Telangana region. So, he withdrew support from TDP and Congress when he felt betrayed by them and their non-committed attitude towards formation of Telangana. TRS became a major political party and formed government in Telangana under the leadership of KC Rao. So, Telangana movement was launched under KC Rao leadership, and his leadership was decisive in the formation of Telangana state. and he was successful also in convincing the Congress-led UPA 2 government at the center for the creation of separate state of Telangana, and he became the Chief Minister of Telangana since its formation in 2014. Telangana Rashtra Samiti leadership garnered people's support through folk art, culture, and by promoting religiosity, festivals, promoting and celebrating the local Dravidian language and culture to arouse the regional aspiration and demands of the people, like celebrating Bonalu and Bathukamma festival in Telangana. So, these are now declared as the state festival and has helped in the consolidation and sustenance of TRS support base in Telangana. So, through the cultural icons, festivals, celebration and religiosity celebration of Dravidian language and culture, TRS constantly tries to consolidate and sustain its support base in Telangana, combined with its popular policies. So, during the Telangana movement, TRS was actively supported by the number of artists, singers, poets, writers, and these support from the artists, singers, poets, writers contributed immensely to the cause of separate statehood for Telangana. Along with TRS and its leadership, the statehood for Telangana was supported by CPI, that is Communist Party of India, but it did not get support from the CPIM. Though left parties have little influence over the politics of TRS, but it is often argued that TRS to some extent is influenced by left politics too. So, like the organizational structure in left parties, in TRS also there is Politburo which takes major decision for the party. So, in terms of its popular policies for the farmers, for the workers and for the unemployed youth, it is guided by influenced by some of the left politics as well. However, presently TRS is gradually moving towards liberalization, private capital investment and private sector, and because of such policies it faces many criticism, and these policies are regarded as against the party's core ideology, which is based on promoting the peasants, artisans, the workers or other weaker sections in the Telangana region. Now, if we briefly discuss the contribution and the major challenges that both these parties, Assam Gan Parishad and Telangana Rashtra Samiti face, we find in 2016 assembly election, the AGP alliance with the BJP and BPF parties formed the government in Assam, and it shows that AGP is still a major player in the politics of Assam and enjoy to some extent people's support as well. In January 2019, the AGP broke alliance with the BJP on the issue of citizenship amendment bill. However, the party returned back to Northeast Democratic Alliance, which is NDA alliance in the Northeast region, for the Lok Sabha election. AGP contested in 3 seats as an alliance partner of the BJP led NDA in 2019, but it has not won a single seat. So, in the present Lok Sabha, it has no seats, and in the assembly election its total tally is reduced to 14. And also there is a kind of uneasy relationship with the BJP, particularly on the issue of citizenship amendment bill. So, it moved out of the coalition and again came back to fight general election in 2019. So, the AGP's alliance with the BJP ahead of 2019 Lok Sabha election is widely criticized and seen as an opportunistic alliance, not just by its supporter, but also many of its prominent leaders have criticized this move of the party, such as two prominent leaders, Lachit Bordoloi and Hemen Bora, openly criticized the party's move to form alliance despite having serious differences on citizenship amendment bill with the BJP, and both of them have resigned from the Assam Gun Parishad. Another prominent leader and former CM of Assam, Prafulla Kumar Mahanta, also expressed the similar concerns and disappointment over this alliance formation. Besides this constant shifting in terms of their policies or the reason for aligning with the BJP, and prior to that in 1996 to left parties, there exist factionalism and major differences within the party Assam Gun Parishad on many regional and political issues. These have led people to lose trust in the leadership and policies of AGP, and accordingly its electoral prospect and status in the politics of Assam have been declining. So, if we look at its prominent position in the politics of Assam after the Assam agitation and signing of Assam Accord with the Rajiv Gandhi forming the government twice, to a position where it constantly tries to seek alliance with other parties to come into the power, once being part of the national government and now having no seats in the Lok Sabha, shows the decline of the Assam Gun Parishad, which is largely due to the factionalism, splits, and also their short-sighted policy in terms of forming alliance or lack of consistent ideology on many issues such as citizenship amendment bill and so on, which is seen largely as the opportunistic alliance, and that has led to the rise of BJP as an alternative force to the Congress at the cost of regional party like Assam Gun Parishad. TRS came into existence as a regional party, and its popularity was based on its constant and focused involvement in the Telangana movement, and it was finally successful in persuading different parties and stakeholders, and Telangana was formed as a separate state in 2014. So, the success and popularity of Telangana Rashtra Samiti rests on their single minded attention to the Telangana movement, in which they have been successful, and Telangana state was carved out of Andhra Pradesh in 2014. And a regional party consolidate their position due to their stand for regional identity, self-determination, to protect the regional language, culture and identity. So, many regional parties in India consolidate their support base on the issue of regional identity, greater autonomy or self-determination, on the issue of regional language, culture and identity. Telangana Rashtra Samiti also exhibit such similar tendency with other regional party in India, and occupies a significant position and trust among the people of Telangana. And it strives towards strengthening the position of regional parties and regional identity or subnational politics in India, and therefore it often argues, particularly K.C. Chandrasekhar Rao, if you look at in 2014 and also in 19 general election, he argues for a non-Congress, non-BJP political formation at the national level. Of course, it has not been materialized, and decades of 1980s and 90s was a time when regional parties or regional political formations played a very significant role in the formation of central government, but with the rise of the BJP and two coalition led by Congress and the BJP, NDA and UPA are in power at the center alternatively. So, third front government or the regional parties have very little scope in providing alternative to the Congress and the BJP, as many of them align with the two coalition UP and NDA. However, K.C. Rao constantly tries to mobilize regional parties to form a third front as an alternative to the Congress and the BJP. It has also inspired many regional groups and parties fighting for the autonomy or creation of separate statehood in India. After bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh and creation of Telangana, TRS formed an alliance with MIM and won 64 out of 110 seats in 2014 and formed the government in Telangana. TRS won majority of seats in both the assembly and general election and came out as the largest party in Telangana. It won 11 out of 17 Lok Sabha seats. It retained its position in both the north and southern parts of Telangana. And in September 2018, Telangana Rashtra Samiti leader K.C. Rao dissolved the existing state assembly election. Existing state assembly, and it led to early elections, and TRS without any alliance returned to power with even greater mandate and formed the government again in 2018 by winning 88 out of 119 seats. Thus, one can argue that presently Telangana politics is dominated by the TRS. It is at present the ruling party in Telangana has won even a bigger victory in 2018. Such victory was mainly due to the pro-farmer and pro-poor welfare policies of the KCR and its historic role in the creation of Telangana state. However, how long it can continue such prominent position in the politics of Telangana is yet to be seen, particularly with the rise of nepotism and dynastic politics that exist in the TRS. Whether it will sustain its prominent position in the Telangana politics are doubtful, and many scholars argue about its ability to continue its domination and prominent position. They seriously doubt and are apprehensive about. So, to conclude, both these parties, Assam Gan Parishad and Telangana Rashtra Samiti, represent the interest of the region and struggle to protect the language, culture and identity of a region, and also to promote socio-economic interest of the region, and in doing so they demand for the greater autonomy or stronger federal structure in India. However, we have seen that how Assam Gan Parishad, from its prominent position in the regional politics in the state of Assam, has now become a junior partner or a sideline force in the politics of Assam. Telangana Rashtra Samiti continue its popularity and prominent position in the Telangana states. However, whether it will be able to sustain that prominent position is yet to be seen, considering the growing nepotism and dynastic politics in Telangana Rashtra Samiti. Nonetheless, we can conclude that both these parties are unique and prominent state parties representing the interest of the region and its autonomy and fighting for the protection of regional identity, culture and language in Indian politics. So, on the both these parties you can refer to some of these texts. First two texts by Rekha Divakar, Party System India and Party System India by Joya Hassan is the common text for other parties and party system as well, but for AGP and TRS particularly you can refer to some of the book, some of the articles like AGP Under Pressure, which is a reviewed work published in Economic and Political Weekly. G. Hargopal, The Telangana People's Movement, The Unfolding of Political Culture. Udayan Misra, Northeast Regional Parties, High Hopes and Hard Realities. H. Srikant, Communalizing Assam, AGP Loss is BJP's Gain. And also Anil Kumar Vidiraju, Politics in the State of Telangana, Identity, Representation and Democracy. So, these are some of the text which you should refer to understand more about the regional politics, particularly about the politics of Assam Gan Parishad and Telangana Rashtra Samiti. So, that is all in this lecture today. I hope you have liked it. Do share your comments and feedbacks. I thank you for your patience and listening. Thank you all.